Alright guys, so this video is on how to enroll in Medicare, and I'm gonna go ahead and reference my notes from here to there to make sure I don't miss anything. Basically, for those of you on or that don't have Medicare yet, there's three circumstances you can be in. The first is if you are turning 65, that's the easiest. The second group is for those people who are leaving their employer group or leaving their group coverage and they're over 65. And the last group is for people who are both over 65 but not turning 65 and also did not leave their group or are not leaving any kind of employer type coverage. So let's go with the first group. So the first group of people pretty much, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link in the YouTube video, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to highlight the times. So if you are a particular person who knows their particular circumstance, you can go and click that and it'll fast forward you so you don't have to watch everything. But you should watch it all if you have time because this is pretty important stuff. So for the first group of people, when you're turning 65, you'll automatically get Part A. If you're collecting Social Security income, that's if you started your pension, you'll also get Part B. And if you don't want Part B, you have to mail your card back. They typically start mailing out these cards about 3 months before you turn 65, and it'll have an effective date of the birth month that you are in. So if you don't want Part B for whatever reason, maybe you're collecting Social Security, but you're working part-time somewhere that gives you medical and you want to send back your Part B, you don't want to pay for it, go ahead and mail the card back and they won't charge you. So that is one option for you if you don't need your Medicare. But if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, I need my Part A and B because I need my Medicare. If you are not collecting Social Security, but you need your Part B, then when you get that Part B card, that statement in the mail, it'll have pretty much a statement saying that you need to pay 3 months of your Medicare premium. Most people will be paying in 2020 the standard or base rate, which is $144.60. If for some reason 2 years ago you made a lot of money, and you may be subject to what's called the IRMA, or the Income Related Medicare Adjustment Amount. And I have a video on that and how to get that lowered if you definitely qualify. But that's for a whole nother video, which I have up here. The next thing that you need to know is after you pay for that, on the statement, there's a link. You can type it in your computer, or back here, your computer, and go ahead and set up bank draft. So I'm not saying that everyone's going to forget to pay their premium, but I've had clients just today, in fact, we just resolved one where the client forgot to pay their bill. For whatever reason, times are really scary right now, and maybe they weren't thinking too much, but for whatever reason, this happens, and it unfortunately happens frequently, where people will actually forget to pay their Medicare premium and get dropped off the program entirely. And if you are dropped off the program, you have to wait to what's called the general enrollment period to enroll in Medicare. And the general enrollment period is only between January and March. And if you apply during those times, your coverage starts in July. If for some reason that's you may have to pay the Medicare Part B premium penalty, which can be 10% for every 12 years that you didn't enroll. And that 10% penalty is levied on you for the entire time you're on the Medicare program. So don't forget. And please, 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 if you are paying for it, use the bank draft version. It's the best. You forget, set it, forget it kind of a deal. So do that. Also, for those of you who are signing up for Medicare, so if you're 65 and over, or you're turning 65, but you're not collecting Social Security, you will have to sign up for Part B. So A will come automatic, but you will need to sign up for Part B. So let's say, for example, you are working at a job, you turn 65, but their medical coverage isn't as good as Medicare. So you're like, you know what? I'm going to go and just get my Medicare ready. You can save some money on the premium or what have you. You're going to sign up, but you're not collecting Social Security. There are primarily two ways to sign up for for Medicare. And the first and most quickest way, not the easiest, but the quickest way, is to go on the Medicare.gov or socialsecurity.gov site and have the link down below so you don't have to worry about looking for it, finding something else. Go ahead and click on that link, create an account. Now, before you create that account, just know that Medicare will pull your credit record or your credit report, and they will ask you questions to verify your identity based on the credit report. So don't be surprised if they start asking you some really weird questions, because I know for me, I actually failed the initial test and had to go and call them to get it resolved. So that's option one. And when you apply for Medicare, make sure when you apply for benefits on the SSA.gov site that you are applying for Medicare only, if that's what you want. Because you can also apply for your pension to begin, and if that's not what you want, make sure you don't accidentally apply for it. So if there's questions in there about like your income or taxes, stuff like that, you may be on the wrong form. Get out and get back in. Also, we've been hearing a lot that while people are applying for Medicare, due to the high amount of people applying for Medicare now, the site has crashed. Lots of things can happen. So be patient. Know that everyone is working as hard as they can to get these things squared away. All right, so that pretty much takes care of you folks on option one, turning 65, what you got to do. For those of you in group 2, where you actually are over 65 and you need to start your Medicare because you're either leaving your job, retiring, whatever it is, you're over 65 and you're losing employer coverage. So what you need to do is there's actually 2 forms that you need to fill out. And due to current circumstances, we're suggesting that you actually fill them both out physically. You fill out the form, pencil in, sign. Because the first form is applying for Part B. That's what you need to send in. The second form is the employer verification form. So hopefully you can work with your HR department in getting this to you ASAP. This form is pretty much where the employer has to verify that you've been on their medical plan from the time you were 65 up until the time you were applying. So if there's any other gaps, you will actually have to go and get those employers to sign off on that form as well. So you have those 2 forms. Go ahead and put them in an envelope, preferably one of those big ones from the USPS store or whatever. Make sure that it's got tracking, and maybe if you can, delivery confirmation, so that when you mail it to your local Social Security office, there's a link to help you find the local Social Security office that you need to mail it to. Mail it, get it to them, and make sure that they have, or you have verification that they did get it, because if they, if you send it to regular mail, they may not get it, it might get lost, whatever, best to be safe, especially when it comes to medical insurance. So what if I'm on COBRA? So for those of, sorry, the mic kind of fell off. So for those of you on COBRA, you have 8 months to be on COBRA before Medicare says you need to get on the Medicare program. It's time for Medicare. And that's for Medicare Part B as in boy. It's a whole different story when it comes to Part D as in drugs or Delta. And Part D has a 63-day window where if you lose your group coverage, even while you're on COBRA, sometimes or most times actually, the Part D will still penalize you from the 64th day and beyond, 1% per month for each month that you are not enrolled. And similar to the Part B as in boy premium penalty, it lasts for the entire time you're on the Medicare program. So you might want to look into getting a drug plan as soon as possible, even if you don't have Part B started just yet, because while Part B will give you 8 months to enroll without a penalty after you leave your group coverage, Part D, as in drug, will not. And you can see a video up here. I'm trying to make sure I get it up here about Part D and how to enroll and what the program is all about. All right, so for you folks on Part, or for those of you guys on the group plans, getting off the group plans Again, make sure you set up the EFT when you get that statement saying that you are enrolled in Medicare and you pay your 3 months. Jump on that computer, set up the electronic fund transfer, the bank draft, and get that done. All right, let's make sure I don't forget anything. Yes, so that mail-in method is most likely going to be the safest way for you folks getting off the group plans, just because when you apply online, they're going to ask you for these additional forms, and sometimes they don't tell you, or they tell you your application is pending, and before someone gets back to you, it could be, we could have weeks could have gone by and you could need medical, and COBRA is expensive. So this probably is the better option for most people. Go ahead and get that set up, because the folks in option or in group 3, right now you can't apply for Medicare because the general enrollment period actually has ended. It ended in March. From January up to March, they have what's called the general enrollment period. That's for people who did not apply when they're supposed to. It could be they didn't need medical, or for whatever reason they didn't know that they had to apply. For those folks, you have from January 1st to March 31st, as of this video anyway, to go ahead and enroll in Medicare, and Medicare will start on July 1st of that same year. So for those people who enrolled from January, February, March of this year, they would get their Medicare start in July. Unfortunately, if let's say they were supposed to register or supposed to start in Medicare 5 years ago, they'll get a penalty of 50% of the Medicare Part B premium. So for those folks, they'd be paying an additional like $72 or so per month for the entire time they're on the Medicare program. And unless for some reason they had Part D or drug plan, they'd also incur a 60% penalty for Part D. So those of you on the general enrollment period, unfortunately, Medicare doesn't really have anything special for you folks to enroll outside of that time, but that's why we need to really be, vigilant and actually apply when we're supposed to apply. So let's make sure I didn't forget anything. If I forgot stuff, all the information is in the links below, depending on which group you fall into. All right. Okay. Well, I'm out of focus. That's pretty much going to be it for how to enroll in Medicare. Again, my office, or we here, we're located on Oahu, but Plan Advisors Hawaii, we help people enroll in Medicare, get that started, evaluate the local plans, make sure the physicians are in the network, make sure the drugs are covered. And what I want you folks to do, if you're watching this, please fill out the contact below if you are having trouble at any point of what we said. I talk fast, I know, I'm sorry. That's just kind of how I am. So if you didn't get that, you can slow the video down, or if reading the text makes more sense, the instructions are down below. If you're having problems at any one of those junction points, any one of those steps, please fill out the form below. Tell us what we can help you with. If you need help with faxing things to Medicare because you don't have a fax, you can let me know. I can e-fax to the Medicare office if need be. I can help you receive faxes if need be. And it's, this is what we do for all of our clients who are needing help. If you need help with those things, let me know. Email me. All of the emails that come from either info@understandmymedicare.org or Matt@Plan Advisors Hawaii, those are emails coming from me or my staff. So make sure you watch for that. Also, the phone numbers, of course, are all going to be coming from an 808 number. My number is down below. You can go ahead and verify that it's coming from. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to put my number online because there's been way too many people calling me about my car warranty or something expiring. So be sure to do that, set that up. And if you're watching this and you already have your Part B, then congratulations, you watched a whole video of stuff you probably didn't really need, but it's good to know for friends. You can tell them, hey, I know all about how to enroll in Medicare. But anyway, fill out that form if you need help along the way. If not, you can go and fill out the form and let us know where you are and that you want the next video on what to do when you have Medicare Parts A and B and you're ready to enroll. Hope you enjoyed today's video. For more resources on retirement planning topics like Medicare, Social Security, and retirement assets, be sure to subscribe and check back here from time to time for up-to-date resources on retirement planning. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and God bless.